Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. My name is Shavi Zane. I'm glad to have you all here for this discussion for the 144,000, the chosen seed. This is a message in regards to the current agenda. What can we anticipate in terms of what the so called powers that were, those who are currently losing power, what is the agenda at this time? What are some things that we can look out for or be expecting at this time? And so I just want to go ahead. I definitely want to pull from my deck to see what is the agenda, see what energies I can pick up on, because as we know, everything is energy, including us. And so, in terms of what is the energy that they are putting out into the universe, and these things are definitely directly directed towards the chosen seed, okay? Because they have to, the agenda is to get to us because we are the ones who will be building the structure. We are the ones who will be bringing change as we continue to awaken, as we continue to heal, and as we continue to shine our light because we are the light. And so anytime you shine light on darkness, what happens? The light overpowers the darkness. You could put a candle in a stadium and it will light up a good portion of that stadium. You put multiple candles into a stadium and you will light up the entire stadium, okay? And so we want to keep in mind that the agenda has been to keep things dark and dim and to keep us in a space of submission and inferiority and keep our light dim. And that's why they've placed all of these different things around us in order to keep us from raising our vibrations and seeing who we are at this time and at this current time and age. So let's see what's going on. What is the agenda of the so-called powers that were, those that are losing their power? What is the agenda at this time? No growth, okay? They do not want us to continue to grow. So if they can do something to stagnate our growth at this time, whatever they can do, they're going to use whatever method, whatever tactic, whatever conspiracy they can in order to stop us from growing. But they can't do that because like I say, like I say all the time, you're foolish to think that you could take a seed. You want to bury a seed. Well, you bury a seed. What is the seed going to do when it gets buried? It's going to grow, okay? And so you can't stop us. They can't stop us from growing, okay? So that's one of the largely the agenda right now is to stop the growth, okay? To stop us from expanding, stop us from moving towards our mission together as a whole, okay? And so they're starting to see because one thing about being a light, these people have come up with so many different ways in order to even see people's energy fields. You see what I'm saying? Um, they've done things in so much detail that they even want to try to see our energy fields, like our auric fields, okay? And so I can imagine that they might have created some things, so they're always tampering around, in the cosmos, trying to see if they can do this and do that. They don't tell us everything that they're doing, but I can imagine that they would have certain things where they could try to see who's projecting a certain type of energy, who's projecting a certain type of light, whose auric field seems the brightest, or who's vibrating at a higher frequency. And they want to try to stop our growth because they know that naturally, as each person, we can be on a different side of the globe. I began to shine in my light and to stand in my divinity, and all the way over there in California, somebody is shining their light and standing in their divinity, and way over there in Arizona, somebody is shining their light, and somewhere out in Haiti. So all of these lights are starting to form across the globe, and so it's getting ready to light up the entire, like I said, the stadium. It's using that analogy with the candles in the stadium. And so this is something that they fear, and so they want to keep you bound to a specific construct. They definitely want to keep you bound to the system, bound to the current structure, okay? Because they did a lot of criminal activity in order to create this, so they feel like they put in their work, and so in their minds, they know that this whole thing is getting ready to come down because that's just the nature. That's how the Most High created the laws of the universe. What you put out there is what you get back, cause and effect. And so they knew that at some point this thing was going to boomerang back to them, but the boomerang that's coming back to them is massive. It is massive because of the things that they have done. There has been no retribution. They have done nothing to actually fix it, to balance out the scales. And there's nothing really that they can do, because the judgment that's going to be placed on them comes from, it can't even come from the federal courts. It's coming from a spiritual court that sits much higher than anything that they could place here in the physical. And so they want to keep us bound to the construct, because the longer the chosen seed is actually participating in their system, then we create the energy that they need in order for their system to continue. And so it's like being that generator, that energy, that source of energy. We are, because we was asleep for so long, we actually kept their system moving with our cooperation. Okay, we was going out there to the polls at one point in time. We was the ones that was continuing to vaccinate our children and to vaccinate ourselves at one point in time, because we was asleep. We was largely bogged down into religious construct and certain things. But now we've decided to take the road less traveled. And a road less traveled don't allow you to stay bound to a construct, because you become the rebel. You break chains. We are generational curse breakers. And so we come in with change. We change things internally and externally. And so they want to keep us from growing, because they know that we are waking up. And collectively, once we all wake up, once the 144,000 wake up, we bring vitality back into the entire body. Okay, because you have the 144,000, and then you have the other chosen seeds. Okay, and so right now we're in this energy of separating the wheat from the tare. Those who are supposed to be a part of the body, and those who may have looked like they was a part of the body, but they're not really a part of the body, because they was never meant to be there. The body rejects them because they do not carry the right energy. They do not carry the right vibration. They are not healthy cells. They're not healthy enough to be a part of the body. And so we are creating a new construct by awakening together. And so the powers that so-called be, they are trying to create any type of structure where they can keep us from growing and keep us bound to their current construct. And so they're using different tactics in order to keep us stuck in the matrix. Okay, but they know that judgment is here. All right, and so if they can keep us stuck to the construct, if they can try to allure us with different things, like even when it comes to this so-called jab, um, they're using different tactics. Oh, we'll give you a few days off of work if you go get the jab. And sad to say, many people are actually falling for that. Oh, I can get the day off if I just go and get the jab. Oh, I'm definitely going to go get it now. How foolish can you be? You don't even know what's in this stuff. You don't even know. You clearly is the doggone agenda. Anytime that they're willing to go that far, we'll give you a year free of Dunkin' Donuts. We'll pay you $1,000 a piece. I mean, it's ridiculous, the desperate measures that they are taking in order to keep people bound to the construct. But they're hoping that amongst those people, the 144,000 will be in there somewhere. But come on now, you can't stop. You can't stop destiny. Okay, the Most High set it up to where we would wake up. Okay, so I guess they was hoping that amongst the sheeple, amongst the zombie, we would somehow find our way in there and stay bound to the construct in order to avoid judgment on them. Because as long as, one thing about the Most High is that he's not going to he's not going to bring harm to his children. Okay, and so he'll stop harm from the entire humanity in order to just save one, in order to spare just one of us. You see what I'm saying? And so because these people know that we are scattered across the four corners of the earth, and because they know that as long as we are still chained and bound to the construct, the Most High is not going to exact a certain amount of judgment to them. He's not going to exact the heavy judgment on them as long as we are still a part or connected to that body. You see what I'm saying? But once we release ourselves from that body, the body that they created, I'm talking about that low vibrational energy that they created, because in the spiritual realm, that's a body. All of those that are functioning together in order to keep this system going and to become that blood supply for this wicked system, that is a body. Okay, it's a lower level body. It's a demonic body, but it's a body nonetheless. And so if the chosen seed is within that body because you're still asleep, which we was, then the Most High was not going to actually bring down righteous judgment over that body to destroy it, okay, because he wouldn't want to bring any harm to his child. And so it's that energy of, if I can keep you bound to the construct, then that'll avoid the judgment that's going to come over our heads. But the fact of the matter is, we have awakened, okay? We're stepping into our purpose. This is at the bottom of the deck. We are self-governing ourselves. We're understanding that we don't need this system. Okay, we can easily release ourselves from the system, and that's what we're going to be doing, self-governing ourselves. And we're going to be using our inheritance, our resources that the Most High is blessing us with, because he's getting ready to pour out some major blessings to the chosen seed. And we're going to be using those resources in order to rebuild a new body, a new structure, something that's coming from a space of integrity and righteous judgment, a justice system that's balanced, okay? And so we know that we can self-govern ourselves. We don't need to be up underneath man's law, because we're underneath the law of the Most High God, the universal law, the law of cause and effect, okay? The law of what you put out there is what you receive back. Treat your neighbor the way that you want to be treated. You see what I'm saying? And so it's that energy of, we become the law versus needing to be up underneath a law. You see what I'm saying? We self-govern ourselves, and that's what they don't want to see. They want us to stay bound to the construct. They don't want you going into this energy of being able to govern yourself. They want you to feel like you need them. You need to be bound by their laws. Well, they don't even have laws, because this, many people are now finding out that the U.S. government is a corporation. We are not a part of a country, we are part of a corporation. And so then you're starting to see that what they are putting out there is ordinances, is statutes, and these different types of things, but it's not law. The only one that can create a law is someone who is an actual citizen of the country, okay? And that would be someone who is actually a sovereign to the country, someone who is inherently supposed to be here. Many of these people that sit on the benches, they're not even citizens. Okay, they're foreigners. They're not supposed to be here. And so they cannot establish, they're not in a position to be able to establish law, because they are not sovereigns to the land. They stole the land and created ordinances and set up a certain structure to fool the masses into thinking that they was establishing law, but they're not establishing anything. The 144,000, the chosen seed, we're going to be we are the ones, we are the law, because we exemplify it, we embody it, we self-govern ourselves, what we do on a daily basis is law. We practice it daily. You see what I'm saying? And so it's this energy of wanting us to stay bound to the construct. So they're going to be doing things to, I feel like, intimidation tactics. All right. Look at that, propaganda. So they want to keep us fooled. They want to keep you tricked by the illusion, okay? And so, yeah, I feel like they're using different methods, different things to make you believe that they're actually trying to come from a righteous space. But you can't. There's no way that this current structure can ever come from a righteous space unless they actually place righteous judgment over the things that have been done to us and our ancestors over hundreds of years. You have to actually bring righteous judgment there, which means the entire structure would have to come down. That means they would have to actually come forward and confess the fact that the U.S. government is not, it is a criminal system, okay? Everything about it is criminal, even when it comes down to the social security numbers and the birth certificates. These are things that are being hidden from the masses. They're not telling you that that's actually an account, that your social security number is actually functioning as a person, an entire person separate to you, and they're using it as an account against you to create debt for you. And it's just so much that's going on, but it's because for a time we was asleep, the veil was over our eyes, but now the veil is being lifted. And so they know that the jig is up, the gig is up, however the saying goes. Blackmail. Okay, it's this energy of wanting to blackmail us. So that's that energy of intimidation factors. If they can blackmail us somehow by, and I feel like that's why they're trying to use this jab, because now I'm hearing from other people, because I don't watch the news, but I'm hearing, through my timeline and different things, is that they're trying to make it so that you have to actually present a card to show that you have received the jab in order to go into certain establishments. And if you don't have the card, they have the right to refuse you. And so it's that energy of wanting to blackmail you. If you do not follow suit with the system, then we are going to remove your so-called rights and your freedoms. But because the chosen seed are in a space where we have awakened to the fact that freedom is not given by man, it is taken back by man, okay? It's never going to be given by criminals, okay? They are not in a position to give us freedom. They do not want to give us freedom. Their whole agenda has always been to keep us in some form of captivity, whether it's the obvious captivity or the one that is done underhandedly through conspiracy and behind our, up underneath our noses, right up underneath our noses, but in a way where you're not able to see it. They make you think that you're in a space of freedom when in fact you're not, because they have the whole system rigged and set up to keep you in a space of poverty, to keep you in a space of depression and fear and all of these different things. So the agenda has always been to use some form of blackmail, okay, in order to keep us bound to this current construct so that we do not grow and wake up to who we are, okay? You have here, yeah, poverty. Okay, poverty has been a really big thing because as long as they can keep you in this energy of being in survival mode, then you will not move into the energy of thriving. And so, in that energy of being in poverty, it makes you stay focused on materialism. It makes you stay focused on, well, I have to pay this bill, I got to pay this ticket. They out here giving you tickets, $500 tickets for not turning on your signal. These little things. You go and work for 40 hours and have to give these people 20 hours of your work. If you're making about $1,000 every 2 weeks, which the average person might even be making that, you go and work for 40 hours to receive that. You get one ticket, and now you've given away 20 hours of your work week to one ticket because you didn't have on a turning signal. These people are thieves, they're crooks, okay? And everything that they do is from a space where they lack integrity in all ways. In all ways they lack integrity. And so they want to keep you in this poverty mindset, because as long as you believe that you are in poverty, then you will stay in poverty. But the awakened, the chosen, we are waking up to the fact that there is no such thing as lack, that there is abundance. There is abundance in all things. There is always an overflow available to us. As long as we are not in that mindset of lack mentality, then we always have resources that are available to us, and we always expect that we will be taken care of. We always expect that we will live in comfort. Okay, and this is the thing, they don't want you to awaken to that fact, because that is true freedom. When you are able to to free your mind from poverty mindset, then that's when your inheritance is actually able to come to you. That's when you're able to move into that space of being able to say that you are wealthy, you are rich, you are financially abundant, because now you understand that in the spiritual realm you have created that for yourself. In the past, they was putting so many things out here to create this poverty mindset that even in the spiritual realm, that's where things was blocked. It was blocked in the spiritual realm because in your mind, you never thought that you could move past a certain income bracket. You never thought that you could actually move out of a certain type of, if you had generations of people that stayed in a certain type of neighborhood, or a certain type of conditioning, a way of living, then you are not able. A lot of times we was not able to free ourselves out of that mindset because it was generational. But because the 144,000 are chosen, we have woken. We are beginning to awaken to the fact that we are always taken care of. We was placed here on this earth to be, to thrive, not to be in survival mode, because every other animal, every other reptile, every other species, every living thing, a tree, a blade of grass, a flower, they do not spend, they do not toil, they do not worry about where they're going to get their food. They don't sit up at night stressing. They know it's going to come to them, because why? The Most High always provides a way. He always provides a way for them to be taken care of. So how much more would he do for his chosen seed, for those of us who are here to actually rebuild the structure that has been broken, to actually shine light and to bring love back into humanity? How much more would he do for us when we are just in our energy of just being, okay? Human being, just being, allowing ourselves to just be in our nature, be in our organic nature, without fear, without lack mentality, without being in a space of survival mode, just being and thriving, versus surviving. The Most High blesses us with things in abundance. In abundance, it'll come to you in unexpected ways. And they never wanted us to awaken to that fact. They never wanted us to see that and to really gain that understanding, because that's where true freedom begins. It begins in your mind. It begins in the way that you see life. Black woman, they still have a very strong agenda. I did another message about this in the past. They have a very strong agenda towards the black woman, because they know that we are in our feminine energy, everybody has a masculine and feminine energy, but the black woman, the female in particular, we carry more of the feminine energy, which is the creative energy. And we have this energy that is directly connected to the Most High through our intuition, through our ability to receive the spiritual messages that's coming in. We're much more tapped in because we are more connected to our emotions. Okay, and emotions, that water, that stands for emotions, that intuitive wisdom, that ability to connect. And so the black woman specifically, we have a very powerful and unique ability. Okay, and so they wanted to get to us first. Even when you look back into biblical texts, they always wanted to, the enemy always wanted to try to get to the woman first, because if you can get to the woman first, which is the one that holds the ability to create, which is the one that actually nurtures the seed, then you shut down creation, you shut down creativity. And so this is why they wanted to get to the black woman, because the masculine energy, we can just say the masculine energy carries the seed of creation, whereas the feminine energy nurtures that seed of creation. She surrounds that seed of creation and begins to make it grow. And so, if the thing is, I feel like the agenda has been so strongly against the woman, because we're the ones that's actually going to make that seed grow. Whereas with the man, it's like, okay, if you have the seed, there's nothing that can be done with that seed if you don't have the soil to actually plant it in, if you don't have the right environment in order for that thing to grow. And so we are the environment that actually brings that creativity in. And so it's like, this is why the agenda has been so strongly against the black woman. And it's this energy of blackmailing the black woman, with using poverty as a way of blackmailing us. And so it's almost like, I feel like it's this energy of them wanting to pin us. It's always been this energy of them wanting to pin the black woman against the black man, to pit the black woman against the black man, and to have us in this energy of opposition, where one person feels as if the other person has more of an advantage. Society has tried to make it seem as if the black woman would be lifted up higher than the black man, to have more of an advantage in terms of access to things, like governmental assistance, an educational system, and different positions, in so-called higher level companies, and these types of things. So it's always been this energy of separating the two of us and blackmailing the black woman into believing one thing, in order to make us not want to nurture the black man, because that's ultimately what's happening in our awakening. As we continue to awaken, the feminine energy is coming forward to actually bring in that creativity. So as we bring that creative energy in, the black man awakens to his power, and he awakens to his strength. And the feminine energy, the healed feminine energy, we come in to surround and to nurture that. And so all it's doing is creating this energy that's continuing to build and become stronger and more powerful in the spiritual realm. That's a very high vibrational energy, and it's something that's unstoppable. It's very powerful when the two of us come together to create that energy. Okay, and so this is why the black woman is so important in terms of the agenda for the so-called powers that be, because they do not want our creativity. They don't want us in our creative energy, where we're able to heal and to nurture the black man into, and to come together, bringing those two energies together. Okay, and so you have here fear. They definitely want to keep us in a space of fear, because fear is very low vibrational in its energy. Anytime you operate in fear, fear puts you into survival mode. Fear causes illness, it causes diseases. Fear makes you stay bound and stuck to a construct, because you fear stepping outside of that, out of fear that you might be blackmailed, or you might not have access to certain things, or you might not be able to grow outside of this particular construct, because that's what they do. They use fear tactics to make you think that you have to stay in a certain belief system, or chained and bound to. And that's because in that energy of fear, they use what's called fear harvesting. Okay, so they take that energy and they use it as the generator that I was telling you about. If they could get the 144,000, if they could keep the chosen seed in a space of fear, then they take that energy and they use it to actually energize their system, their construct, because you have to remember their construct, what they have built has been built on a very low energy. It's been built on criminal activity. It's been built on bloodshed. It's been built on demonic activity, as well as black magic and all of these types of things. And so the type of energy that they need in order to keep it going is one that is low in vibration, fear. Okay, but fear is also this energy that can be very powerful, that you can use in a wicked manner, is what I'm saying. Fear can be used. If you take a bunch of people that are fearful, those people in unison together will take that fear and they could actually do some real damage. Okay, so fear can actually be a powerful energy, but it's going to be what energy that's going to do damage in a very low vibrational way. Okay, in a way that's actually going to be very detrimental to everything that's around it. Okay, and so they use that energy. Okay, they want to try to harvest that energy from us, and so this is why it's so important for us to not be in that energy of fear. Once you release yourself from the energy of fear, there is nothing that the so-called powers that be can do. Okay, I like to call them the powers that were, because I don't even want to give them that, my energy, and saying that they are the powers that be, the powers that were. Okay, you do not want to give them that type of energy. So you release yourself from fear. You remove yourself from fear, because once you do that, you drain them. You release, you take away their energy source. You take away their power source. And once you do that, then what do they have to work with? Nothing. Okay, and then you have here honorable intentions. So we always operate from a space of honor, from a space of honorable intentions, and this is why we have to separate ourselves from them, because we do not mesh. It's like oil and water. We do not go together. Love and hate, they do not go together. Yes, there's a very fine line between the two, but they do not work together in unison. Okay, love is going to overshadow hate. Okay, love is going to overshadow hate, and so that's the energy of us needing to stay in our honorable intentions and separating ourselves from this system. Okay, because their intentions right now is to keep us stuck and chained so that they can carry on with their agenda. But it's not working. It's not working. There it is again, inciting fear. All right, so that's largely the agenda right now. So be very cognizant of what you are watching. Do not allow yourself to be swept up in the media, swept up in the news, or swept up in whatever is being saying through social media in terms of what's happening. This person was killed, or they're going to do this. Even if they're saying that they're going to threaten to come to your homes and make you they can't make us do anything. We have free will. Okay, they can't make us do anything. Do not be swept up in fear. If you need to turn the TV off, turn it off. If you need to get off of Facebook, or if you need to delete some of your Facebook friends because all they do is put up videos of people that's getting killed, or every time you look up, they telling you about the worst thing that's happened, you need to go ahead and delete them, or you need to remove yourself from social media for some time so that you can stay balanced. Okay, because you do not fear. That's what they need you to be in. They definitely need it to come from us, the chosen seeds, because our energy that we project is very, very, very powerful, whether it's coming from a low vibration, or whether it's coming from fear, or whether it's coming from a space of love. It's something that they prefer for us to be in the energy of fear, because that is what energizes their so-called vessel. But we're not operating from that space. We are creating a new body. We are creating love. That's the energy that we are projecting out into the universe, so that we can bring balance back into humanity. And so do not allow yourself to be excited or swept away in fear. Corruption. So you know that everything that they're doing is corrupted, and this is why judgment is coming over their heads, because nothing that they've ever done has come from a space of honorable intentions. Okay, everything that they have done has been corrupt. Okay, and so this is why judgment is coming down. Yeah, fear tactics again. It's a lot is coming out about fear tonight. Okay. But we have honest intentions, and so we are not going to allow them. They might even come in and try to mask honest intentions, even though it's really to incite fear. And that's what they do. They tell you, oh well, we're covering these news stories, I guess to keep the public informed. You need to know that the police is out here killing folks left and right. Well, that's already clear that you all have given them the green light to go out here and do these things, because you placed the cameras on them so that you could, the agenda was to put this, to televise this, so that the masses would believe that we have to go around being afraid as soon as we see a doggone police car. Now it's time for us to get afraid. No, no, ain't nobody afraid of these people, because they're not even operating. They don't even have the right to operate from a space of so-called law. You are not a citizen. You don't have the right to do that. But because we gave it to them for a time, we was so blindfolded by the system, and we was functioning with the system. We was functioning with the agenda. It gave them it gave them a sense of power for a time. But that is all coming down. So let me see what else we got here before I close out, y'all. Oh, they're in despair, honey. They are in despair because they know that this thing is coming down. They are losing. This says not hiring in the background. Okay, so nobody is falling for their mess anymore. Okay, even when it comes to the other countries that was a part of their agenda, they was working with them, alongside them. They're even pulling back. Okay, because everybody is now going against each other. Everybody is fighting up against each other, because now they don't have our energy anymore. We're pulling our energy back from their system. So they're in despair now. They're very much so in despair. It's going to be a lot of changes that's happening for these for the so-called powers that were, and we're going to be able to see it. It's getting ready to be very much so. Right now, they're not talking about it. They're not putting it. They're not going to make it obvious that their structure is coming down, because their media is specifically to continue to spew or to perpetuate a certain type of structure that is, television. Tell lies to your vision. And so that's what it's structured to do. So they're not going to make it clear and show us blatantly on television that their system is coming down, but we can feel it. We know intuitively that the system is coming down. So these people are in despair. Behind closed doors, they're really in despair, and this is why they're trying to scramble right now to come up with ways to keep themselves in a space of power longer. And so this wealthy man, all of these people that created wealth off of the backs and the bloodshed of our ancestors, and doing it from a space of criminal activity and from wickedness. These wealthy people, they're in a whole lot of despair. Okay, especially those who are part of the system, because of course the so-called powers that were, they built a lot of wealth on criminal activity. Okay, these are high ranked criminals. Okay, and so they have used that structure and this system in order to build wealth, because they was all about the ego, all about their carnal nature, very materialistic beings. These people do not have souls. Okay, I did a video on that. These people do not have souls, and so they knew that materialism, as long as they can stay in this position of wealth, they could use that wealth to actually create the system. Okay, because the wealth was actually part of their one of their energy sources. Okay, it was a strong energy source for them, and this is why they always wanted to keep us in this energy or this mindset of poverty or lack mentality, because they know that money, it is an actual energy. That's why they call it currency. Money is energy. Okay, and so if you can keep people in this energy of survival mode, where they'll do anything for money, like selling your body, stripping, criminal activity, robbing someone, you'll do anything. You'll kill. People will kill. People are killing for money. Okay, so there's this low vibrational energy that surrounds money, because this is how they created it. When the US dollar was created, it was created on bloodshed, and so naturally the energy that surrounds that currency has been very low vibrational in its energy. And this is why it's so important for the 144,000 to step out of materialism and to see wealth as being something greater than a greenback dollar. You need to see wealth as being your peace, wealth as being your freedom, wealth as being your happiness, wealth as being your good health, wealth as being the love that you have within you, wealth as being your compassion. You see wealth from a totally different perspective, and it actually takes away, it actually lessens the value of their dollar. And because we release and we free ourselves from the cord, the umbilical cord of this greenback dollar, okay, then it gives it less energy, it gives it less fuel. And so the wealthy man is in despair, because he could be sitting back with all them greenback dollars, but if once the 144,000 come together and the Most High say, okay, because this was here, great fortune, I'm going to give you your fortune, But our fortune might even come into in the form of gold. He might just decide to erupt, decide that we'll have a volcano. I'm just saying, this is just anything that's coming to mind right now. But he might just say, okay, I'm going to allow the earth to bring forth all of the gold that is within her. I'm going to tear down their structure, and I'm going to give my chosen seed all of the gold that is within the earth's layers, because even in biblical texts it said that the streets will be lined with gold. So he might just say, I'm going to allow the earth to give birth to all of her gold, because now even the earth is functioning at a high vibrational frequency, and it is giving birth to all things beautiful. And so he might just say, well, I'm going to give birth in that way, where my chosen seed, I'm going to bless them with all the gold, and these so-called powers that were, they're not going to be allowed to touch it. They better not touch it, because now, so then it's like that energy of, well, all of that greenback paper from those presidents that were slave masters that killed many different people in order to maintain their wealth and to get their position, and that did all this criminal activity. Now your little greenback dollar, it has no energy. It has no currency. It has no electricity in it. It can't do nothing. It's not inciting the people. We ain't moved by it anymore. So now you just sitting up there with all that green paper, and you can't do nothing with it, because now the chosen seed decided that the true wealth comes in the form of gold, or we're going to use a different type of currency in order to be able to establish our foundation. So it's that energy of despair. They know that their power is coming down, y'all. It's coming down. It's over with. It's over with. Okay, look at that sudden wealth. Look at all that gold right there. And you see those sevens. It says 777 right there. And also that's the number 11 up there. So we talking about new beginnings. The number 7 is a number of spirituality. And so like I was just telling you, that sudden wealth, it can come in the form of anything. We don't have to depend ourselves in that way. That's why it's so important, like I said, to become mentally rich, to say that to be spiritually rich. I always say my spiritual account is infinitely abundant. Okay, there is no number. It's infinitely abundant. I have infinite access to my spiritual account. And whatever that looks like, you see what I'm saying? So we are coming into sudden wealth. Great fortune is coming in for the chosen seed at this time. So like I said, expect your inheritance. Expect that we are going to be financially abundant and very wealthy, and that those people that was in the space of wealth and power, they're losing it, okay? Because the true judge, okay, we're talking about the spiritual judge, is going to be making a final judgment over this situation. The true judge is making a final judgment over the things that these people have been doing, okay? We have been putting in the work. We have been perfecting our craft, okay? We have been burning the midnight oil. We've been staying up late hours, perfecting our craft and very focused in on it, and putting a lot of love and passion into this thing, because we know who we are. We know what our purpose is, okay? And because of that, yeah, the true court system is getting ready to come in to establish some things. There's going to be some documents. We might even have some documents that we have to sign here in the physical to release ourselves from this system in order to establish a new court system. It's going to be so many changes that happens. We haven't even begun to see it yet. But this journey, it has not been in vain. It has not been in vain. There's going to be a lot of movement that's taking place here. A lot of people that's going to have to pack their bags. They're going to have to pack their bags and go. These people are going to have to pack their bags and go. They might even get into that energy of wanting to leave the country. You might be finding out that a lot of politicians and things are going to start, walking away from their positions and leaving the country, trying to flee, trying to avoid judgment, okay? Trying to avoid judgment. You got family room coming out. And so this is like that energy of, definitely wanting to come together to try to see what they can do against the family. It's always been that energy of trying to conjure up whatever schemes they can in order to go against the family. But I feel like, yeah, even for them, they're going to be taking some journeys. Many of these families that came together and was able to establish their wealth on the backs of our ancestors, these houses are going to be left empty. You got bad health here at the bottom of the deck. Many of them are going to have to suffer through bad health. It's a lot of karmic energy that's coming back to the so-called powers that were. So just know, all we have to do is continue to understand that we are the law. We govern ourselves because we always operate from a space of integrity. Don't get caught up in the media. Do not get caught up in any fear tactics, because they're going to try to pull as many rabbits out of the hat as they possibly can, whatever they have left. Because now we can see right through it, see right through the agenda. And so we're not falling for it anymore. So they don't really have any more tricks up their sleeves. And so now it's just this energy of them trying to incite fear, because they're going to become more aggressive in their approach. but we're not fearful of these people because we understand that our spiritual team is much more powerful. The earth has our back. The Most High has our back. Our spiritual team, our angels have our back. The cosmos, the universe has our back. You know why? Because the natural thing that all living things want to be is in harmony, in balance, okay? In balance and in harmony. And so when we are operating from that space of authenticity and in harmony and in balance and from love, all things that exist actually want to work in our favor and work with us. And so, like I said in one of my last videos, these people, they think they're doing something with their guns and their arsenal. The Most High can just send a whole flock of birds to just peck their asses to death and send them all packing. That'll be the end of them. A few birds just come on down, peck their asses, and they're done just like that. So it's that energy of we have everything. Everything that exists is working in unison with us, okay? Because it's we are operating in a space where we are balanced. We are balanced with the universe. We're balanced with nature. We are directly connected to these things, whereas they do everything to go in opposition to it. They want to kill off all of the animals. They want to kill off all of the land. They want to, disrupt the cosmos and all of these things. And so they are working in direct opposition to it, which means what's going to happen? The earth will reject them. Naturally, they will be rejected because they are not operating in sync and in unison with the earth. Just like the body, if you have some disruptions that's happening in a body that wants to remain healthy, naturally the body wants to stay healthy. Anytime any invaders come in, any bacteria or viruses come in, naturally the body is going to do what's necessary to burn that thing out and to reject it. And so that's what's happening at this time. And so these people are in despair. So let's continue to rise, y'all. Let's continue to stand in our purpose, continue to grow, continue to heal, continue to know that we are infinitely abundant and that we are getting ready to change and reshape the world. We have a very powerful purpose, and I'm very happy that we're all coming together and we're awakening to our purpose and we are, shining our light. So I love y'all, and I'll see you all at the next message.